He stuffed a piece of cloth into the fuel tank with wire, pulled out the gasoline-soaked cloth, stuck a sticker over the tank opening. Then he set the cloth on fire. After that, he dragged his injured leg and walked into the pharmacy. The sticker burned through. The fuel tank exploded instantly. Everyone's attention was drawn to the blast. He calmly walked to the shelves, and began selecting the medicine he needed. Back at the hotel, he spread a piece of plastic on the floor, gritting his teeth against the severe pain. He treated the gunshot wound on his leg. He was a ruthless killer who always kept his word. What had left him in such a mess was simply that his target had found a suitcase in the wilderness. It contained $2 million. Moss had wanted to keep the money for himself, but he had no idea there was a tracker hidden in the case. Because of this, Anton and Moss had exchanged intense gunfire the previous night. To escape the pursuit, Moss had dragged his injured body across the US-Mexico border. He threw the money under a border bridge. By then, Anton had already tracked him to the nearby hotel. He called Moss.
You need to talk to me.
I don't need to talk to you.
I think you do.
Anton used Moss's wife as a bargaining chip, but Moss, a former soldier, was determined to stand up to him. The next day, Moss retrieved the suitcase from under the bridge. He contacted his wife. They agreed on a meeting spot. Moss planned to hand over the money to her, and tell her to flee far away. Moss's wife along with her mother, got ready to leave, completely unaware that a group of Mexicans was following them. Upon reaching the station, the wife went to buy tickets. The Mexicans approached to strike up a conversation. The unsuspecting mother revealed their destination. The wife called the police. She hoped the sheriff would protect Moss. Meanwhile, Anton was already on his way to their destination. Moss arrived at the destination ahead of schedule. He was chatting with an attractive woman, totally oblivious to the killer approaching from behind. No sooner had the sheriff arrived at the scene than he heard the sound of gunfire. A group of Mexicans fled in a hurry. The horrific scene before the sheriff made him realize something terrible had happened, and at the hotel entrance, he found Moss already dead. The sheriff had arrived too late. It wasn't until evening that Moss's wife reached the hotel. The sheriff's act of lowering his head and removing his hat made her understand. Moss was gone. Even though the killer had already gotten the money, he still tracked down Moss's wife, simply because he had warned Moss that he was a killer who always kept his word.